Anyway, return to cars. Let's stick to what we want to show. I want to show you two more things, guys. So return to garage, setup, and what we're going to do is we're gonna get again tire set number 1, which is, you know, we arrived at 2.3 and 2.2 depth of the tire tread. Yeah, thanks, Captain. Please find it, and then maybe in another stream we can talk about this question. Again the same setup, and I'm going to put full fuel. So when I'm putting full fuel, again the user interface recontrols all the alignments, the ride heights, puts everything as it's supposed to be, and you know, when you click drive now, you're gonna have those kind of ride heights, even if you have full fuel load, which is how you're gonna start your race. Okay, full fuel load or similar to full fuel load, and the ride height that you tried. Now what we're gonna do, and that only works when you are in practice sessions. It is completely disabled in qualifying sessions, in race sessions, in hot lap sessions, in hot stint sessions. Doesn't work. So what we're gonna do now is go here in the area, fuel load test, and put temporary fuel at something low, something like 15 liters. Now what does that is it simulates, as you know, if we change the fuel load, the user interface system will auto-fix all the alignment, ride heights, etc. But if you go with 110 liters full in this car, and then you go to fuel load test and you put a different load, right, then it doesn't do the auto fix anymore. In fact, you can see that automatically my ride height became 59 at the rear and 56 at the front. So the car went up, right? So it doesn't auto fix it anymore. It disables the auto fix and makes you having a car as it's going to be, all right? When on the race you're gonna go to the end of your stint after 1 hour, say, and the fuel load will be very light, so your car will, you know, the ride height will rise up. So this is very important. So what we're gonna do is, as I said, go back to tire set 1, so everything is, the tires are worn out, and back, and continue, and let's see how the car behaves. This is extremely important to prepare your races, because otherwise you're gonna have some pretty nasty surprises. As you see, the car, the ride height went up. So let's see how the car will react. A bit of oversteer, but let's first heat up the tires. Not bad, even if the tires are still cold. Not bad at all. I mean, I was used to the massive grip I had with fresh tires, and I can still use those tires, so good. Now it might be placebo, right? But I know it isn't, because I know how the physics work. So when the tires are worn out, it means that you have less rubber, right? Less rubber means that the tire footprint is stiffer. So that means that stiffer means, you know, it's harsh, it's more harsh. And in this track that is bumpy, I can feel a tiny bit more force feedback vibrations when I go over some bumps, because the tires are more, worn out. With the fresh tires, you go over them and you feel something, rubbery. With the worn out tires, you feel something more, how to say, less rubbery, more stiff, more harsh, yes, I like the job we did. So, tires are now warmed up a little bit, yeah, and they are warm, and the fuel load is low, just almost 10 liters, so the car is higher, but the handling of the car is pretty good, it's decent. So that is a very, very good indication that the job we did on the setup was good, and yeah, very, very good indication. So if you have big issues in this situation, you obviously have to do a tiny bit of compromise in the car. For example, if the car was very oversteery, I would suggest to do just a click at the rear right height, lower it, of course. Let's overtake this guy. No, we can't, he's very fast. Yeah, can't do it. Tires way too worn. Yes, I'm gonna share this setup. I will put it here on the comments of this stream once we're done with it. So don't worry about that, guys. I will also put it on the forum somewhere, so you can have this setup if you like it. So yeah, I like it. So as I said, you will have to find a bit of compromise, okay? You have probably to have the car a little bit understeery when the tires are fresh, so it becomes more neutral and less oversteery when the tires are warm. It's up to you, it depends how you feel the car. I feel it very well, so I'm happy with this. But on other cars, for example the Porsche or the Lambo that we have in front of us, their balance might change because they're not very balanced cars in terms of weight. The Ferrari is more balanced, more neutral car, so I'm way too far away. Well, the Lambo Evo wants to spin because you need to do this test on worn tires. You said the Lambo Evo wants to spin on worn tires. You need to do this test and determine if, when the tires are worn and you have low fuel load, if you need to do some compromise in the setup, right? So you have to do some compromise. You have to have the car a little bit more understeery when the tires are fresh, and then moving forward the tire will become more neutral. But if you don't do that, you won't be able to know what's gonna happen, or I mean, you will know it, but it will be too late because you will be inside the race, and practically you're gonna have issues because obviously you cannot change the setup during the race. The Lambo Evo is a car that needs you to not be lazy. You have to work. You have to work a lot, and also needs a specific driving style. With the Ferrari, it has lots of mid-corner grip, so you need to get to make very round lines, bring lots of speed into the turn. With the Lambo and the Audi, sorry, you you probably need to make the turns in V pattern like this. You go into the first apex a little bit outside in the middle of the turn in the apex, and then go again into a late apex again. You just go in, late braking, rotate the car, get out, and take advantage of the traction and the acceleration, because they have very good acceleration. Anyway, so we did that. Okay, we saw that our car is pretty cool. When you go back, it's disabled, so that so again, if I put it, you see, if I put it 16, you see here 60 millimeters, 56, 57, it depends. Also the system tries to accommodate the whole situation. And here's another thing you can do, and they do it in the real racers. You can start with a little bit less fuel, right? Obviously, as less as you can, in order to have enough fuel for the first stint. You go in to the first stint as soon as possible, because you have low fuel. So at 55 minutes, you have 10 minutes of going in, right? You have 55 to 65, something like that. Correcting me if I'm wrong, but out of memory I remember that you have 10 minutes of time to go in for your pit stop. So you go in at 55 minutes, as soon as the pit lane is open for you, the pit stop window, and you carry low fuel, okay? And then you fill the car up, because if you fill the car up like this, the car probably will go lower, even lower than the limits, and you say, oh, wait a minute, that's illegal. Not exactly. Not exactly. Here's what happened. The rules say that the car must be controlled for ride height before the race, okay, and you have to be into the limits, and after the race. What you do during the race, it's up to you. Okay, so if you can do something, well done. Obviously we're talking about half millimeter or 1 millimeter, but if that gives you some kind of performance, good for you. Obviously you say, well, if I'm lower during the race, then I will end the race and I will be lower. No, because you will end the race with low fuel and the car will rise up again and it will be over the limit. We're really talking about half millimeter or maybe 1 millimeter at max. But, sometimes teams might think it's worth it, and you might think too. It's up to you. All right, so I think it's pretty clear. Let's see a little bit of questions.